There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere.
My name is Patrick Cloud, and I'll be leading the Unison Invitation. Come into the circle of caring. Come into the community of gentleness, of justice, and of love. Come, and you shall be refreshed. Let the healing power of this penetrate you. Let the loving kindness and joy pass through you. Let hope interfuse you, and peace be the law of your hearts. In this human circle, caring is a calling. All of us are called, so come into the circle of caring.
There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere.
Hi, my name is Trevor Dimel, and I'm a senior at Fountain Club, and I would like it if you could please join me in the responsive reading in your order of service. A person who is fanatic and clings to certain ideas about the nature of God and the universe becomes a person who has no faith at all. When we swim, we don't grab hold of the water, because if we do, we will sink and drown.
The attitude of faith is to relax and float, becoming open to the truth, whatever it might turn out to be.
Looking out into the universe at night, we make no comparisons between right and wrong stars, nor between well and badly arranged constellations.
The only way to make sense of things is to plunge into them, to move with them, and join them.
Good morning. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fountain Street Church. You belong here. My name is Tony Cruz, and I've been a part of Fountain Street Church, and more importantly, it has been part of me for my entire life. And today, I also speak as an adult leader for the past 8 years of Fountain Club, the high school youth group which was created and still continues here at this church since 1941. Alan Watts, whose words you just read, spoke here in the 1950s. After he wrote, "I want to congratulate you on assembling such a marvelous congregation in such an unlikely spot." He also added, I don't think I have encountered such a challenging church. I would like to perhaps think that perhaps part of what made our community marvelous and challenging for him were some of the teenagers he may have met, the fountain clubbers then. You see, marvelous and challenging are pretty much perfect definitions of the teenage experience, not just for them, but for us adults around them too. And those words work as well for this church, because in both cases, we like to be outrageous, we like to listen to cool music, we know how to have fun, and we don't want church to start too early on Sunday. That last line of Watts, the only way to make sense of things is to plunge into them, to move with them, and join the dance, also captures the spirit of this place and its mission dating back over 140 years. And it's particularly apt for those we honor on this very special day in that long history. One when we send some of our children, now high school seniors and young adults, to plunge into and move and dance with the world. To them, I want to say, it's our hope that we've helped prepare you as you've grown in this house. I consider myself a very lucky man to have shared these last 4 years with you. And I want to thank you. We have laughed and spoken freely, taught and challenged each other, been quiet and sung together. We created a home for one another, be it upstairs here in a small room beneath a painted yin-yang of day and night, on an island in northern Lake Michigan with sun-filled sand dunes and reeling stars, or in a few weeks from now, on a train crossing into the west toward mountain and desert. This tradition of creating a home by and for young people in the form of Fountain Club reached its 73rd year with you. You join a legacy shared by many of those here in this room and throughout the whole world, including myself 40 years ago. And for that, we thank you. Now, as your adult leader, I know I've bugged you, provoked you, and once in a while maybe inspired you, which you have certainly done in return, I can guarantee you. But since we have a few more weeks in this little arrangement, I thought I'd take one more shot at it. I'm going to finally get you to listen to some opera. Yes, I said it, opera. And too bad, you really can't go anywhere, all right? Now, exactly 100 years before Fountain Club was born, 100 years, in 1841, the Italian composer Giuseppe Verdi wrote the piece of music you'll hear sung next by our glorious choir. Its title in Italian is Van Pensiero, which are the first words sung and roughly translate as memories take flight. How it fits with you today, and for all of us, is that this is music about having to leave a home. The sadness of that, the hope for a return, and how thoughts and memories fly on golden wings back to a cherished time and place now gone. This is a song for you as you leave home and go off to dance with the universe. But it's a song for the rest of us too, your parents, your friends, this church, the adult leaders, and myself. Because with your going, a precious, irreplaceable part of our home leaves us. Still, despite the truth and sadness of this, that is also where hope begins its flight, moving forward, knowing that our home is within you and that you are with us in ours. So I'd like to ask everyone, sit back, relax, and quietly listen to Va Pensiero. Allow your thoughts and memories to take flight. Allow yourself to be flown upon those wings of gold to a place or a day or a face, to homes once known. Linger for a while and give thanks for those treasures, as ahead in the distance, some new home comes into view. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Wen Batzer, and this year I wasn't able to be as much of a part of Fountain Club as I would have liked. Thank you, Polar Vortex. But every Sunday, I would always get a text demanding an answer to why I wasn't there. My legitimate answer of black ice or a blizzard wasn't ever accepted. Suggestions like, just move to Grand Rapids, and my favorite, you could just hitchhike down here, were definitely my favorite. Were tossed around frequently, and I know I'm not the only one who was lovingly harassed when they would miss a Sunday. But through the 4 years of Fountain Club, you learn we are pretty close to a dysfunctional family. Yelling at each other is actually a sign of affection, and group hugs are always a remedy to fix anything. No matter how much club you've missed or how different your views are, love and friendship will find you in Fountain Club in some strange way, I promise. My English teacher read a short story to my class last year, and it stuck with me. The silliness and seriousness applied almost perfectly to what Fountain Club and Fountain Street Church means to me. This is by Robert Fulghum. All I really needed to know, I learned in kindergarten. In the early dry dark of an October Saturday evening, the neighborhood children are playing hide and seek. How long since I played hide and seek? 30 years, maybe more. I remember how. I could become part of a game in a moment if invited. Adults don't play hide and seek. Not for fun anyway. That's too bad. Did you have a kid in your neighborhood who always hid so good nobody could find him? We did. After a while, we would give up on him and go off, leaving him to rot wherever he was. Sooner or later, he would show up all mad because we didn't keep looking for him, and we would get mad back because he wasn't playing the game the way it was supposed to be played. There's hiding and there's finding, we'd say, and he'd say it was hide and seek, not hide and give up, and we'd yell about who made the rules and who cared about who anyway, and how we wouldn't play with him anymore if he didn't get it straight, and who needed him anyhow, and things like that. Hide and seek and yell. No matter what, though, the next time he would hide too good again. He's probably still hidden somewhere for all I know. As I write this, the neighborhood game goes on, and there's a kid under a pile of leaves in the yard just under my window. He has been there a long time now, and everybody else is found, and they're about to give up on him over at the base. I considered going out to the base and telling him where he was hiding, and I also thought about setting the leaves on fire to drive him out. Finally, I just yelled, "Get found, kid," out the window, and scared him so bad he probably wet his pants and started crying and ran home to tell his mother. It's real hard to know how to be helpful sometimes. A man I know found out last year he had terminal cancer. He was a doctor and knew about dying, and he didn't want to make his family and friends suffer through that with him, so he kept his secret, and he died. Everybody said how brave he was to bear his suffering in silence and not tell anybody, and so on and so forth. But privately, his family and friends said how angry they were that he didn't need them, didn't trust their strength, and it hurt they didn't get to say goodbye. He hid too well. Getting found would have kept him in the game. Hide and seek grown-up style. Wanting to hide, needing to be sought, confused about being found. I didn't want anyone to know. What will people think? I don't want to bother anyone. Better than hide and seek, I like a game called Sardines. In Sardines, the person who is it goes and hides, and everybody goes looking for him. When you find him, you get in with him and hide there with him. Pretty soon, everybody is hiding together, all stacked in a small space like puppies in a pile. And pretty soon, somebody giggles, and somebody laughs, and everybody gets found. Medieval theologians even describe God in hide-and-seek terms, calling him Deus absconditus. But me, I think old God is a sardine player, and will be found the same way everybody gets found in sardines, by the sound of laughter and those heaped together at the end. Ollie, ollie, oxen free. The kids out in the street are hollering the cry that says, "Come on in, wherever you are, it's a new game." And so say I. To all those who have hid too good, get found, kid. Ollie, ollie, oxen free.
Couple days to rest our eyes. I forgot what we look like when we ain't got a furrow on our mind. So I'll be me and you be you. We're gonna do what we do, 'cause these are the sweet days Hold on to what you love. Who knows how long it may stay? Count your blessings while you can. Take your loved ones by the hand. Oh, baby, ain't it fine? A couple days to take our time. 'Cause it's hard to move at all when your back's against the wall. So you walk on and I will too. We're gonna do what we set out to do. 'Cause these are the sweet days. Hold on to what you love. Who knows how long it may stay? Count your blessings while you can. Take your loved ones by the hand. And oh man, don't you think we better swim before we sink? There's too many people on this boat for it to stay afloat. We don't have to go down like that. No, 'cause we know where it's at. 'Cause these are the sweet days. Hold on to what you love. Who knows how long it may stay? Count your blessings while you can. Take your loved ones by the hand.
Good morning. My name is Liam Kirkbride, and I've been attending Fountain Street Church for the last 5 years. 4 of these years were spent with Fountain Club, our youth group, and let me tell you, being a part of Fountain Club has completely changed my life. I could spend hours and hours telling you of the fun we've all shared every single Sunday, but I'm sure that you can get that just by seeing our group around the church, noticing the way we interact with one another. I could spend even more hours telling stories of the people we helped in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina, in Washington, D.C., feeding the homeless, even right here in Grand Rapids, working with Kids Food Basket and other nonprofits. I could even tell you about our service opportunities we will partake in when we leave for Flagstaff, Arizona in 2 weeks. I'm sure many of you have already noticed and heard about these events. But what you haven't seen is the depth of our friendship and our trust. I want you to close your eyes and picture someone who you could confide with your deepest secrets, passions, joys, concerns, loves, hates, sorrows, news both good and bad, everything. Now imagine, if you can, that there are 25 more of that person. That is Fountain Club. They are my 25 deepest confidants. I feel like I could trust any of them with any of my emotions or events of my life and know without a doubt that they would be by my side to help me or congratulate me or support me and whatever I need. Do you know how rare that is, to find a group of people willing to come together and do that? I know I didn't understand, at least not at first. Slowly, though, I began to figure out what this group was all about. Every time we met after church on Sunday, I was amazed that this group of people found each other, and I'm awestruck by the levels of trust each and every one of us places in the hands of another. In this volatile time in our lives, everything is changing. I'm sure you can relate to the troubles and drama of high school. It's a difficult time in our lives. So much is changing, and the fact that I can go back every Sunday to find a solid sanctuary, a place where I can escape the precariousness of the future, is absolutely priceless. The things I've learned about myself during my time with Fountain Club has completely changed how I look at the world, along with the rest of my peers. Although many of you have moved on from high school, I think everyone can work to create their own Fountain Club around themselves. I know that once I leave for Michigan State University next fall, I will immediately begin building my support system. I encourage you all to find your own Fountain Club, somewhere that grows your soul, frees your mind, and allows you to change the world. But above all else, supports you. Thank you.
All right, well, first, not sure what it says about Fountain Clubbers, but it seems to be something of a tradition to write your offering the night before it's due. I started mine at about 5 o'clock this morning, and I guess I know exactly what that says about me. Anyway, silence is regarded with a certain disdain and a certain reverence. When you sit with someone in silence, it can be the result of a vague social dysfunction, or it can speak to a shared moment of profundity. Have you ever known someone so well that you occasionally find that any traditional form of discourse is entirely unnecessary, that no conversation is required for a mutual appreciation of the other's presence? And so you sit, getting lost in tandem musings in the quiet wonder of a shared contemplation. That, to me, is Fountain Club, a bond of immense consequence and without need for any articulation of its bounds to be understood completely by all. Though there are many clubbers who have been part of this community since character school and earlier, I've been a part of Club for only 2 years, and I have lived, loved, and learned more than I would have thought possible with people who I see for 2 hours once a week. I have found friendships that are so grand and intimate that though I may not see some of these people for years after I walk out of this church for the last time as a Fountain Clubber, the next time we meet, we'll speak as though we had parted ways only the day before. Such is the nature of love. That, to me, is Fountain Club, a place to love and be loved, a place of refuge, a reprieve, a unique and precious sanctuary in the stressful, tumultuous doldrums of everyday life. To me, and I suspect to a few others as well, the concept of going into this next year that will bring so much change without the guarantee of that periodical and perfect respite is daunting, to say the least. But change is necessary for growth, and though I'll always be a Fountain Clubber, perhaps our shedding of the official title is one last gift given to us by Club. That, to me, is Fountain Club, a teacher, a mentor, a loving parent that would like more than anything to hold one last tantalizing taste of childhood, but helps us load our possessions into the back of a car with a smile to mask the melancholy poignancy of the moment. More than anything, I wish to express my gratitude to this whole community for making something so wonderful as Fountain Club possible. I think I speak for every departing senior when I say that Fountain Club has changed myself and the course of my life drastically. So thank you. The presence of all of you here today has made that possible and is just another example of how we each play a role in creating the paths walked by those around us. That, to me, is Fountain Club. Its interconnectivity, It is peace of mind and spirit. It is learning. It is sanctuary. It is love. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Ariel Henry Tatum, and this year I'll be graduating from Black River High School in Holland, Michigan. My first experience at Fountain Street began when I was a freshman in high school. When my family and I first visited Fountain Street, we were greeted by Matthew, and his kindness made us realize that this was a community that we really wanted to be a part of. Soon after, I started to attend Fountain Club, and living in almost an hour away from Fountain Street didn't really give me the opportunity of knowing everybody. But when I was able to come, I felt welcome whenever I went, and was able to talk and connect with new people every time. One of the best experiences I had was in my sophomore year of high school, was when we went down to New Orleans for the service trip. This trip was by far the highlight of my sophomore year, and I have a lot of fond memories from it. Nothing like a 23-hour train ride and painting houses on stilts to really bond everyone together. But it also taught me that all of us have the ability to help those in need, regardless of our age or financial status. This trip helped spark my passion for volunteering, and I became more involved in my community. I became a youth member, a youth representative on a Holland City board, and volunteered with an after-school program. And in my junior year, I even started teaching character school. There's one person at Fountain Street that I really want to thank for giving me that opportunity, and that's Lydia Stubbs. She trusted me to work on my own with the kids at a really young age, and she was always there to help me, whether it was dealing with missing materials or watching the class when I took one child on a bathroom break. I've had so much fun working with the kids, and I have learned so much and had fun from reading books about accepting people for who they are to acting out stories with our animal crackers during snack time. Working with the kids has taught me responsibility, patience, and how to think on my feet. I am so thankful for Fountain Street Church for providing me with these wonderful growth opportunities. Thank you for welcoming me into your community.
Good morning. My name is Evan Barfus, and some of you might know my dad, and actually probably most of you do. It feels like everybody does. I'll be working on a cashier at a grocery store, and someone will come up and they'll say, "Hey, are you John Barfus's son?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, why? Do you know my dad?" And they're like, "Yeah," and I'm just kind of thinking, good, that's like the 7th person today. But this is about me, not my dad. He got to do this so long ago. So I met this kid, Ben, in 7th grade. And we were good friends through middle school and high school, and I still talk to him every now and then, but one of the first conversations I ever had with him was about summer camp. And Ben had gone to Camp Pendaluan, a YMCA camp around here, for 6 or 7 years, and he was planning on returning the year after to be counselor. And if you've ever been to a summer camp, one of the things that many counselors have to learn how to do is deal with a lot of kids who get bored extremely quickly. And so Ben told me this riddle that he had been told by a counselor, and he was younger. And you ready for this riddle? I'll give anybody here who can guess the answer who's not in club, because I might have told you guys some of this. Anybody here who can guess this, I'll give you $20, absolutely honest. So, what is the difference between a squirrel? That's literally all there is to the riddle. Do we have any guesses? Not a potato, not an orange. Good tries, though. So, that Ben thought it was absolutely hilarious to see us struggle around and try and guess this. So, he decided that he would hold off the answer for as long as he possibly could. And he decided that he would make it his senior quote in the yearbook. And by the time the sophomore year came around, he had become semi-famous at the school because of this squirrel riddle. And last week, when I get my yearbook, I grab it, I flip to the senior photos, find Ben, and I read the answer. Who even cares about squirrels? But it wasn't what I was expecting. It was kind of a letdown, but it was kind of fulfilling in a way, We've been fretting about this and, trying to understand it for all of high school. And in the end, some things just don't matter. And life is like that. And in my 18 years of life, I've learned pretty much that everything can be summed up in 3 words. Life is weird. I'm 18, and I know that it's completely and ridiculously unpredictable. The largest and toughest decision of almost every high school senior is about what college they're going to go to. And you can spend months fretting and worrying and researching and visiting, but then when it finally comes down to it, you'll make your decision without even having to think. And sometimes you'll have a really cool speech written for your church, and it's got, Greek philosophy and physics and a bunch of really cool stuff. And then 48 hours before you're supposed to give it, you think it's kind of dumb and your physics is wrong, so you scrap it and start over. That was my weekend. So one of the things that worries me as I enter college is the complete and utter inability that I have to control the entropy and randomness of the universe. And I like to know what I'm doing, and I like to have things planned out. It stresses me if I don't know what's going on. But I've had to learn this year to be able to go with the flow of the chaos and survive without too much injury, and throughout this still achieve what I want to do. Or I've attempted to do this. I haven't really succeeded at it yet. As I'm freaking out and stressing about college and feeling completely lost in the world, I remember a conversation I had with Matthew Cockrum. Back on our 8th grade coming-of-age trip to Washington, D.C., all the kids up here and a few others in the audience were in this big 15-person van, and Matthew was driving it. Do you guys remember this? And on our first night leaving from D.C., despite what others may tell you, we got lost. And this was before the age of smartphones and GPSs that actually worked, and so me being the only kid who could read a map effectively while Matthew was driving, he asked me to help, and after finding our location and our destination and there was no way in between them, I informed Matthew that we were lost. And he looked at me with this shocked face and he pointed at the map and he's like, "No, we aren't lost, we're right there, you see? You're only lost if you have absolutely no idea where you are. We know where we are, we know where we've been, and we know where we're going. That's as good as you can ask for." And I rolled my eyes and disregarded the statement and went back to trying to find a way to get to the hotel at a decent hour. Spoiler alert, we didn't. But as I get ready to head off into the world, I realize something. I know exactly where I am. And I know where I've been and don't have any intentions of returning there. And I'm pretty sure I know where I'm going. And if my destination's, I think I'll be okay. Considering how daunting of a challenge I have in front of me, I'm glad I have at least that. I'm glad to have great parents, an awesome little brother, I love you, Tommy, and some amazing friends here that can help me in case I do actually get lost. Life is weird, but so am I. Maybe it'll balance. Thank you.
Jason says this was to sum all this up. Can't do it. One of the things I enjoyed when I was away was dinner. Dinner is 10 courses in Japan, all very small, all very different, and you're meant to appreciate each one separately, and somehow they'll all blend together, and that's just what happened. They each had their own taste and their own texture and their own tone of voice. And if you expect me to put them all together, you're wrong. But you've probably heard some things that you remember. Show of hands, who's a Fountain Club alum? Not quite. But look out there. These are your people. Some of them are my age. 1,000 years ago, when I was brand new at this business, I went to see an 89-year-old woman, and I was young enough and callow enough to say to Miss Emily Guild, "Miss Guild, what's it like to be 89? Not many people have the nerve or the foolishness to ask that question. And she said, "Young man, until I see myself in the mirror every morning, I'm still 17. That's what you need to remember. All of us, not that you will feel that way, but all of us already do. Every one of us is still 17 when we wake up in the morning. We remember that moment, the moment you are having right now, when everything about being alive was vivid and real and scary and true, and we had no idea what we were doing. You'll be that way for the rest of your life. We just pretend we know better, better than you. So our appreciation for you today is as fellow 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds, not as your elders, but as your comrades, not as people who know better, but as people who want to know better than we actually do. Welcome to our world. And we welcome you to share your 17-year-old with them today. Because, as you heard them say, all that matters is right in front of you right now. Grab it, love it, and keep moving.
May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others and let others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars and climb on every rung, and may you stay forever young. Will you lift your voices with me? Forever young, forever young. May you stay forever young. May you grow up to be righteous. May you grow up to be true. May you always know the truth and see the light that shines on you. May you always be courageous, stand upright and be strong, and may you stay forever young. Let's really sing it to him this time. Forever young, forever young. May you stay forever young. One last time. May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. May you have a strong foundation when the winds of time do shift. May your heart always be joyful. May your song always be sung. And may you stay forever. Forever young, forever young. May you stay forever young.
And I would like you all to to join me in the benediction. Hold on to what is good, even if it is a handful of earth. Hold on to what you believe, even if it is a tree which stands by itself. Hold on to what you must do, even if it is a long way from here. Hold on to life, even when it is easier letting go. Hold on to the hand of your neighbor, even when we are apart.